Yes, so social order represents an essential aspect of society. It's a necessary feature. It's it's a set of linked social structures, social institutions, and social practices that conserve, maintain, and enforce normal ways of relating and behaving. The concept refers to all those facets of society which remain relatively constant over time. And we understand that social order it's necessary. In order for there to not be um an outbreak in like crime or certain illegal activities, social order has to be taking place in order to ensure that everything works in order as they should, promoting equality, all type of things. And now looking at the functionalist perspective on social order, the functionalists argue that social order is achieved because people need each other. So they're saying it's necessary because in order for certain things, development of a country, we have to work together. And in working together, there has to be an order in which you do it. And as society moved from traditional to industrial, the development of different social institutions facilitated the needs of people and created social order as well. These social institutions interlock and work together to bring equilibrium. Durkheim he argued that society has a collective conscience, which is a shared collection of beliefs, values, and attitudes, as well as knowledge as well. Mhm. And so, as usual, the function is one of the things about the function is that anything that occur, like there are many occurrences of something, they see it as important. It has to be necessary, being that it occurs in many other society, then it has to be something that is important and is necessary. So that's really how, and it has to have a function, and that's how the functionist really views a lot of concepts and ideologies as well. Now looking at the Marxists, the Marxists, we always know them for being very radical, especially they always talk about oppression, capitalism, all type of things. Marxists believe there is no such thing as social order. Simple. People are unconsciously forced to conform to the different rules and values set by the elites in society. This is called false false class consciousness. And so he looks at working class people. They are being exploited and are unaware of their exploitation. Marx believed that the real social order can only be achieved in a communist society. However, the thing with Marx, is that for almost every issue, his solution is a communist society or a socialist society. But he's always criticized, heavily criticized, because one, he didn't give any form of guidelines as to how a communist society would properly function and work, and get rid of like capitalism, um get rid of oppression and all those things, inequality. He didn't actually give any give a firm guidance as to how to achieve this, and so he continuously get blamed for it. Reason being, he continuously used it as a solution to almost every problem, you know. And you see where Cuba, one of the Caribbean's communist state, they still face problems of high crime rate as well. Over there, there's still a lot of inequality issues taking place over there. So you see where a communist state it hasn't been proven up until now to be the ultimate solution to these problems. Moving on to the interactionists, well, interactionists believe that social order is a matter of a shared value system. People interact with each other through their through this value system, and this maintain order in society. You know, and yeah, that's really social order for you to understand. Now for social control. So social control is the control society has over people. It includes the mechanism created by society to ensure stability over time. And we know that it is the regulation and enforcement of norms, right? And yeah, all societies practice social control. In a way, all societies, um, yeah, all societies would practice social control because even in like primitive societies, the cavemen, there had to be some form of social control to keep people in check, so that the society doesn't destroy get destroyed by the people. There has to be some form of social control. Indigenous people, they had their chief, the chiefs, and the kings and whoever. These are form of social controls as well. Even within animals, we see it every day, right? We know about the wolves, and there's an alpha. The alpha is one who have the dominance, who controls the pack when they're ready, and so on. You have the male lions. The male lions, they go out and they hunt. They bring back the food, and the female lioness, they responsible for child caring, and that's kind of how it works for a lot of animals. So you see where there is some form of social control even within animals. It's something that is necessary in all societies. You could say living things as well, all living things as well. It's a necessary of the world, that social control. And so the goal of social control it's to maintain social order. So you see where social order and social control comes in play now. Because social control main goal is to ensure that social order is taking place. An arrangement of practices and behaviors on which society's members base their daily lives as well. So it therefore goes hand in hand with deviance and exists to prevent negative deviance. So, deviance that can damage the society at all. So that's what social control try and prevent. That's some of their goals. They also ensure social control also ensured social control is ensured through the use of sanctions, which can be positive as well as negative. For positive sanctions, are rewards given for conforming to norms. So these aren't given because you break the norm, it's because you conform to it. So a promotion at work would be a positive sanction for working hard. And you know that a negative sanction now are like punishments for the violation of norms. So, you'll have a person being arrested as a punishment for shoplifting, or maybe they assaulted someone, they're being arrested, um they do that's a negative sanction. And so what you understand is that um sociologists as well, they would also classify sanctions as formal or informal. Formal sanctions are ways to officially recognize and enforce norm violation, which is being fined or imprisoned. Informal sanctions now emerge in face to face social interactions, social disapprovals, also criticism. People will face shunning, shaming, ignoring, mocking. as well. And what we understand from some of these informal sanctions is the fact that they do work in promoting social order and control as well, because you know, if you shun someone, you criticize them and so on, or ridicule them, they might actually make changes or steps to don't do the action again. Make some changes to themselves, ensure that they don't receive the shunning. Being shunned, as small as it may seem to some people, is not a simple thing. Some people, it really and truly will mess your day up, it will mess your head up and everything. So you see where these informal sanctions, right? They do work. They do work as well. Now, moving to the agents, the official agents of social control now. Social control is, we know that they are ensured in society through the cooperative efforts of the various social institutions in society. And these are considered the agents of social control. Now, the formal agents of social control include the legal system and the court, right? And the thing is, when it comes to like crime and violence, crime and deviance, anything that's formal, that's speaking about formal, it's really referring to like official, the legal system when they get in trouble with the law itself. So that's what formal mostly will mean for as it relates to like crime and deviance and crime itself. The informal agents of social control. So these would include the family, religion, mass media, healthcare system, and the education as well. So while they're not they're the formal agent would be like the last place. So when someone really does something, they're going to the court. If a child or a student does something at a school, they're deviating from the norms and they're causing problems, suspension after suspension, it might lead to them have to go into court because maybe they did something that harmed somebody. So you see where you can still um you see where while you may receive informal sanctions from the informal agents of social control, it can lead to you going to the formal agent, which is the legal system or the court. So some agents, like I said, they can be both formal and informal, such as education. So in summary, education functions as a formal agent of social control through organized institutions, having a curricula and credentials, while also serving as an informal agent through the transmission of cultural values and everyday social interactions. So this dual role highlights the multifaceted nature of education's impact on shaping individual behavior and societal norms as well, right? Now, as an example for this, we could look at even, do you guys remember the Dance Check song that, well, I'm not going to say who produced the music, but the artist, Jamaican artist, he sung it, Dance Check. And so it went popular. The whole dance, fully dance thing came a trend in Jamaica where education was like not important anymore, right? And so the education institution, right? They understand just how the chaos that this could cause, the impact, the negative impact it would have on the nation's children, right? The future of the children, not only the present, but the future of the children and the country as well, right? So they're not just looking at the song itself or the word, they're looking at, the lives of the person this may affect, how it may affect the development of the country itself. And so what schools did, you even see where, because there was a dance bag that came out, through the whole thing. I believe yes, it was red and the dunce was in white, and it was the dunce bag, and students started buying it and wearing it to school. What did many school did? Well, the Ministry of Education ordered that all schools should ban it. And some school ban it already, suspended enough for the children. So you see where the school took active measures to ensure that these form of deviance, really, these form of deviance, the students going out of the social order, they ensure that this is be not they're preventing it from happening again. So that's why they did those informal sanctions by giving them suspensions. And so where it would be getting formally when they would put in the ban on the bags as well. Also, the agents of social control have changed significantly as society advanced. As society expanded, the agents had to change and adapt to many of the changes that's taking place now. Because you have old generation versus the new generation. Things we don't think the same at all. We don't like the same things. So the rules can't necessarily be the same. If it's being the same, then it's going to be outdated and you're going to have a conflict between ages. And so you for example, back then, within um the 1900s or the 20th century, back then you could go to school in tear up uniforms and no shoes. You go to school with your hair anyhow, you know. But now I'm pretty sure the security won't even let you through the gate looking certain ways, right? And you see where the rules, norms, behaviors, these things they have to change. Because I mean, me personally, you're not gonna catch me at school with no tear up shoes. If my pants tear the first day, as a matter of fact, if students' pants tear or them shirt tear, you just go to the nurse and get a pants for wear for the time being, right? Students get suspended for their hair now. Can believe it, yeah. How many students getting sent home, which shouldn't happen. You shouldn't send us. I don't believe you should be sending students home because of their hair, because it doesn't necessarily have an impact on their performance. It might be a distraction. We can argue that it's a distraction, but I don't know. That's debatable. Yeah, and so you see where the agents they slowly have to change and adapt to future preferences as well, to ensure that there is not a conflict between generations. So the legal system. So our first, we're gonna just look at the first agent of social control, which is the legal system, also the most powerful agent as well. So it is the arm of the state, and its sole purpose is to exercise social control, nothing else. That is its sole purpose, which is why it is the most powerful, and because it's formal as well. And it would differ from the other social agent mainly because it has major functions, though they might indirectly help to preserve social order as well. But the court system far bigger. We know that it includes the police and the court as well, which are the physical representation of this agent. The police and the court, they're the ones who go around enforcing the laws. Now, they enforces certain sanctions and laws, offers punishment for the breaking of the laws and sanctions. So fines, imprisonment. That's what they really do deal with. Now, what we must understand is while they are the most powerful, they're they depend on something, and that something they depend on is the needs, the help from mass media. So what we understand is that it relies on collaboration with mass media to disseminate information and communicate its influence effectively. So, reporting on crime and deviance to a broad audience serves as a deterrent against future actions or future crime, right? So you have the news. You show it on news, and the news come and say criminals caught this and that, and they were prison. They use social media as well. You have the Jamaica Police Force on social media. They do all type of things, highlighting wanted criminals. They also show people getting arrested. So these things, it does act as a deterrent, because you don't want to be in that situation. So many people, they just decide that, all right, then I rather just do the things them right. No, don't scam, don't turn to crime, and so it does act as a deterrent as well. And you understand, and the next thing to not only mass media, but it is the people who are going to report to the legal system when something is being violated. You know, police doesn't have some technology where as things goes wrong, it pop up. Like Teen Titans, where as a crime happen, you see the TV does start flash, and it identify everything what go on. Police don't have that. So unless someone call the police, that's when they're gonna see them arriving at a crime scene, right? So you understand the legal system, it depends on people to report the problem, because the police, the court is not enough to fix or see certain problems taking place. They're not going to walk around in people houses asking, is everything going all right? Are you being abused? Any domestic violence? Anything? They're not gonna be any sexual assault. They won't be going around asking for these things. So you have to seriously report, which is why reporting crimes, reporting anything, is very important in um preventing certain things from happening. Most likely preventing certain lives from being lost. We do tend to have a informer, um, informer for dead, snitches get stitches. We do tend to say that. We do tend to not promote telling on the police, but at the end of the day, I believe that you're always going to have law-abiding citizens, and when things happen, they go straight to the police, because really and truly, the police know. Like, many people might believe that the police don't know certain things, but they know. They just don't have enough evidence, or maybe they haven't caught the person in the act to really bring them a jail or put them in a prison. So a lot of the time, the police them really know everything what go on, and why? It's because of the people. No, for the family, this is very easy for us. I mean, the family, the first agent of socialization, right? You're born into the family as well. You're born into the family, so they have to be the first place you're gonna learn about social order and about social control. So parents would socialize their children into what is right and what is wrong. So your parent, your mother, your father, they will tell you, look before you cross the road, don't push any metal in the sockets, the electric sockets, and so on. They'll tell you what not and what to do and what not to do. You know, and they prepare to go outside until they go to basic school or kindergarten, right? Um, they enforces the first means of punishment, right? A child is punished because he or she has some has done something wrong. So every child, we've been through this as a child. You have to go through some form of punishment from your parents as a child. So maybe you drop the tablet, and you get cussing, or so, or um You leave the house and you get cussing, you crawl out of the house, and so right then and there you understand that what you did is wrong, so you won't do it again. Right? So that's where you get your first means of punishment. So they act as an agent of social control for people at a very young age. You know, many of the characteristics people reflect outside on the road is what they really learned from their family, from inside the home as well. Right? People carry it outside with them. Um, the family they uses religion, the mass media, and education as well to enhance its roles and function in shaping the individual. Right? So we would they would use religion for letting the child know, listen, pray before you go to bed, pray before you eat, and all these things. And they would use it. Same with the mass media as well. All the other things, you know, and it helps in order to shape their function as well. So yes, we're the agents, they're different, but at the end of the day, they still depend on each other, right? The next one is education. Now, education has been cited as a form of control. I will talk about how it can be considered both formal and informal as well. You know, we talk about the hidden curriculum, how it enforces control, and posited by Bowles and Gintis, the two Marxists, which suggests that education institutions enforce social control through implicit lessons and norms. And you do learn this. A lot of times, okay, you see they say walking lines. Walking lines to the classroom. Now it's a big schoolyard. You don't really need to walk in lines, do you? No, but when you walk in line, it create less chaos for a vehicle to pass you guys. So you understand that there are rules there that you simply have to follow, right? No, people have we do. I think right now all schools would have like a certain amount of limit for your hair. So like with a 2 inch on the pull, or so for your hair height, and so people don't want to follow it. Most boys wouldn't want to follow because boys in general like growing out their hair, but some they follow it, and you have to really ask yourself like, why though? But it's because it's really teaching about the norms of society, you know and teaching you some lessons as well. Not only that as well, people spend more time at school actively than in the home for the first 18 years of their life. So if you're a student, majority of your time, majority of your life, you've spent at school. You spend like around 8 hours at school, right? By the time you reach home, a lot of schools over from like 3 o'clock really to 5 o'clock, to like 3 o'clock, yeah, over 3 o'clock, and 3 to 5. That's just 2 hours as well. 3 to 5, you just probably do your homework within them time there. Then 5 to 8, say you probably want to go sleep, or must do. Yeah, school actually take up a lot of your time, and so you realize that what school really does is that it provides a place for people to be, because now school ensures that there's a place for students to be compared to students being on the road. So the less students you have on the road, the less they are most likely to become criminal or to be in any gangs, because they are at school. So it also has that role as well. you know People learn formal education, which prepares them for work, and keep them from becoming deviants as well. So you see where school is very important. The mass media, okay, so The mass media plays a significant role in social control by providing models of discipline for individuals to emulate through various forms of media such as the television, movies, and news outlets. The public's opinion on what is considered acceptable or unacceptable behavior is shaped, right? So it's the mass media, it simply provides a models of discipline for us to copy, right? Helps shapes the public opinion on what is good or bad. So it helps other agents to fulfill their role, and as you mentioned, we talk about how it helped the family and it helped the legal system as well. Same with religion and education, it helps them, because it's what get the information out there. And as we are living in a digital time where communication is taking place everywhere, the mass media, it serves as like the medium for this, for information as well, right? So educate the public on the consequences of being deviant. So you see many videos online of people being arrested, a lot of crime being committed, and the punishments they receive, people going to prison. You see a lot of prison documentary about how prisons are bad. It's really being shown so that people deviate from these problem, so that it really act as a deterrent. You know, it actually works. And so one of the criticism of the mass media is that the mass media can be an awful agent of social control as well. Music and movies can do more harm to society because it does promote deviance. A lot of them promote deviance, like a gun show, action shows as well. Uh-huh. There are a lot of shows that are just, well, it's not rated for children, it's not rated PG, but at the end of the day, children are going to watch it. A lot of parents aren't um they're not looking over what their children are watching. They're not checking and ensuring that their children are watching safe content. They just give the child the tablet as a way of controlling them, as a way of ensuring that they are quiet and everything good, which isn't good because the children, they just surfing the internet really. And we all understand how easy it is to find certain things, to see certain images, certain videos as well. It's not difficult to find a nude picture of someone on the internet. It's not difficult at all. You just need to type in the words that it pops right up, right? So you see where they're heavily criticized for that as well. And so this is one of the reasons why misinformation is a major problem in modern media, because a lot of people, me personally, let me tell you about me personally. If it doesn't come on the news, I won't be quick to believe it. So if I see it on the internet, I won't be quick to believe it. A lot of times you see they'll post famous celebrities about how they died, and you have to be wondered, like, did they really die? Because if they died, I feel like you'd have seen it on news, until you research for yourself and realize that it's a lie. They're still alive. And what about the people who they instantly believe it? They find out that a celebrity they love died. They get depressed, right? Messes up their head. Maybe someone on the internet, cyberbullying is going on as well. Someone created a post and a picture to someone saying that their family member died. They're having a breakdown now. So you see where misinformation, it can be very dangerous for modern media. Okay, so the healthcare system now, The healthcare system serve as a positive agent of social control, you know. It encourages people to be responsible about our health, which is very true. Enforce the practice of no smoking and other health issues as well, you know. And through education, treatment, and preventive measures, it plays a significant role shaping shaping individual behaviors and promoting overall societal health and well-being. Right, so the healthcare, it always talk about having good health. It's still a form of social control. You know, it may not be seen as that strong or that powerful such as the others, like the impact they really have. It may not seem like it, but it actually does. You know, um, let's say for example the healthcare system now with the no smoking. There are laws out there that certain products like the cigarette boxes they have to state that the dangers of it for pregnant women and other. It have to state that smoking kills, you know because if it doesn't state it, more people will freely just go ahead smoke and damage their own lungs, right? We understand that how dangerous lung cancer is, or a lot of lung. You need your lungs to breathe. So if you have a problem with it, you're not going to breathe. And if you can't breathe, you simply can't live. It's as simple as that. So you see where yes, the healthcare system, it does in fact act as a social agent of control, as well as agent of social control as well. Yeah, and that is it. I don't think we went over religion. We did mention religion a lot, but as for religion, it act as a means of bringing social changes and shared consensus, right? So people are afraid to do things because they fear to anger God. So religion attracts morality with simple actions. Historically, the church was an important institution. It had influenced the actions of the legal system, family, and media. For example, the Ten Commandments are incorporated in the legal system as well. You know, the laws against murder, thou shall not kill. Exactly. So, um, work well with the other social control agents as well. Especially the family. Yeah. Critics. Well, let me see. Critics have looked at secularization. Religion has lost its significance due to the secularism. Yeah, people are just not so religious anymore. They are less reliant of using religion to explain social phenomena. And maybe one of the reasons why is that it has to do with, like, maybe the changes within society. You know, like people using religion to, like, try and justify certain things. People might find it just offensive, like, it might be offending someone, or they don't see it as like strong enough because it's like you're trying to base your explanation on things that aren't proven, or things like that. So yeah, I believe that that's one of the reasons why religion, it's not really, people not really use it like that anymore. Not much religious anymore. Yeah. And we're at the end. I'm definitely going to edit the religion part into the video at the end. So for the last screen, I'm gonna show the religion part for you guys. But yeah, we're at the end as well. Thanks for making it this far. If you have, um, I always want you guys to support by subscribing for me, leaving a like, leaving a comment. I really want to leave comments as well for me to understand, like maybe I want to make changes, anything. Nobody's perfect as well. So I really like receiving comments on any work that I do as well.